Last century, success in textiles was all about scale. Cavernous mills housing thousands of workers made Britain a world leader. Today, the innovation is all about computer technology, with techniques like Cad Cam replacing the dark satanic mills. But in both cases, the key to success is investment, and within a few miles of the industrial cathedrals of Bradford, one teacher is banging the drum for investment in ICT as a way of bringing textiles design right up to date. Anne Crawshaw has a national role in the teaching of Cad Cam. This programme looks at how she teaches the subject and shares insights based on her experience.
Careful, it's hot. Just a corner.
Oh. Okay, that's really nice.
Okay.
It's top. Yeah.
Okay, just go and take it away. That's lovely. Look at the colour on that. It's really, really nice, vibrant. Good. Well done.
But the barriers to effective teaching of Cad Cam in schools are high.
Staff have given up trying to pursue implementing Cad Cam because maybe they've not had not only the support in terms of funding but also the support in terms of technical support. If you haven't got the technical support to help you to set up the software, run the printers and all the other peripherals that need to be up and running and working and reliable, then it becomes a real headache for the teacher. So I can understand lots of teachers that have given up because of these issues, and they are big issues.
And that's been spotted by the QCA, which has identified Cad Cam in textiles as a significant area of weakness where teaching needs to improve.
Some of the teachers that have been teaching for a long time, you know, might shy away from using ICT because it's not something that they've been used to using in the past. So more traditional aspects of textiles are still being taught in lots of schools. It's really just a gradual and a gentle process to introduce teachers into CAD work. There's obviously got to be some self-motivation there. There are a lot of teachers out there that really embrace this kind of new technology and are trying really hard to get it off the ground, up and running. They can see the end results. I often take lots of my work to various meetings, and when staff can see that it does actually work and you can do it, then it's obviously self-motivating.
One of the biggest barriers to the successful teaching of Cad Cam is financial. The software and equipment is expensive. We'll hear how teachers can tackle that later in the programme. But first, let's get a flavour of Anne's lessons, which are seen as a model for the future teaching of the subject.
The way that we teach Cad Cam in this school, I think a lot of schools are aspiring to now, and I think the tables are turning. Schools are becoming better funded, and staff are becoming better trained and a lot more confident in using computers to develop design ideas and to manufacture products.
Today's lesson is aimed at consolidating the small amount of work done with this class on Cad Cam so far. Anne begins by explaining some of the advantages of digital printing.
The middle panel of this cushion here has been digitally printed in yellow and red. Now, if that was going to be done by another method, for instance screen printing, there would be two lots of colours that would need to be used. And the first lot of colour would need to dry before you printed the second lot. Does anybody know Bushra?
If you're going to dye it, then you're going to harm the environment because, you know, all the chemicals in the water that you're going to dump. And but if you use a digital print method, then that's only going to it's going to print on the fabric, and it's not going to harm the environment.
Yeah, that's right. Screen printing uses lots of printing inks. You know, I'm very passionate about my subject. I'm very passionate to share this with students and to enable them to share my enthusiasm and to be enthused by the results that they get from this. Now, if I click on this one, can you see this? Gives us the same kind of colours, but it gives a number at the side. The number at the side is called a Pantone colour, all right, or a number for a Pantone colour. And those are universal colours throughout industry. So if a manufacturer or a designer was designing a T-shirt with 2 colours on it, they would be able to say, well, it's Pantone colour 11/0617TP. And if that went to the manufacturer would know which colour or which shade of yellow it would be because it's got a Pantone number to it.
The pupils have used specialist software to come up with a design which they're now going to transfer digitally to fabric.
It's going to be divided into 4, so that's going to be orange and then pink and then orange and pink. And then it's going to have my techniques onto it, so it's going to be embroidery, silk painting, freehanding, plique, quilting. It's going to have a lot on it.
I'm using a lot of techniques, but for one of the pieces on my cushion, I'm going to heat press all these onto it, and then I'm going to decide what colour I want, because I'm stuck yet. I don't know what colour to use. I'm going to heat press it, and then whichever one I decide to do, that's what I'm going to put on my cushion. It's brilliant. It's really good.
For me, it's the wow factor. The children see the work on the screen, they print it off onto the sublimation paper, on the heat press, when it comes off, wow. And that for me is, you know, it's the key. It motivates them on to developing their work further. Okay, well done. Careful because it's hot, just a corner. Fab.
The motivation comes from moments like this, when pupils see instant results.
Might try that again. That's good. Okay. All right. So what are you going to do now with that?
I might choose one of them to do my final design, or I might do a couple of them because everyone's saying do all of them.
And then you've got the 2 different textures, haven't you? You've got this crepe texture and that very shiny silky texture. So you need to decide which one will be the best to use and then print a bigger piece?
Yeah.
Okay, well done. Off you go.
But Anne Crawshaw has many advantages. The pupils at Feversham College are well motivated and disciplined, and critically, she has had money to spend, around £15,000 for software and equipment.
Lots of teachers come to me and say, how on earth have you managed to get all this kit? How on earth have you managed to be able to integrate it into your schemes of work? How have you managed to filter it down to Key Stage 3? Well, there's a number of answers to that. The funding issue comes from the support that you get from your SLT and the head teacher. If you put good resources in, you're going to get quality end results. If I do a single click, it'll open another line at the end. If I do a double click, it'll finish the line. Okay. There are a number of funding pockets that you can access. The gifted and talented funding, for instance, I've run a number of workshops. You might, for instance, invite a textile designer to come and work alongside the students. You might also get additional funding for some kind of machines, or you might get funding for an additional piece of software that you need to run the workshop with. So that there's funding from those angles as well. I've helped teachers to access different strands of funding that will enable them to do that. There's funds that can be accessed through Aim Higher initiative, where we can develop students' awareness of higher education possibilities and further into the world of work.
And Cad Cam qualifications are prized by employers where career opportunities are improving. After years of decline, the British textile industry is fighting back against cheap imported goods. This company is one of the biggest digital print textile designers in the UK.
We have seen a dramatic increase in the amount of digital work that is now done, certainly within the UK. And if anyone wants to actually stay within the industry and look for a career within the Cad Cam or digital printing industry, it's absolutely essential they have a good basic grounding for digital design. What they're actually been able to do within the school environment, i.e. working on a small format desktop digital printer with textile inks and actually translating those designs onto textile by means of sublimation, it is actually very relevant, and that exact same technique is actually used within the industry, albeit on a wider format machine that potentially can go a lot faster. But the fundamentals of that are absolutely identical. So if they get that basic grounding, it certainly would stand them in good stead should they want to continue in the industry.
Anne Crawshaw admits she's in a fortunate position, but she feels that teachers who may not yet have won the support of senior management can still introduce elements of Cad Cam into their teaching.
There are a number of different ways that you can introduce CAD. Simple ways of addressing the assessment criteria for GCSE. It doesn't have to be through, fancy, very expensive printers. Very inexpensive printers can be bought. It doesn't have to be sublimation inks, which are very expensive, or sublimation paper. I've been able to print on a black and white laser printer and printed it onto fabric just by ironing it on. So there's lots of very simple ways that people can introduce very simple aspects of CAM. Just 1 minute. Just pull that out, sweetheart. Okay.
It's so nice. Yes. Results.
Is that good? Right, so what you need to do is to decide which one looks the best. Okay, it's still quite hot, so be careful. So you go and sort that out and decide which one you want, sweetheart.
According to employers, it is worth the effort.
I think it's extremely important at GCSE level. So say if they wish to continue in a foundation course or go on to do a degree in textile technology or Cad Cam design, I would certainly envisage that their future tutors would look to see what relevant background they have, and if they have a GCSE in textile design, it certainly would stand them in good stead. As regards industry, I think it's absolutely critical that anyone who wants to get involved with industry, they have a very sound knowledge of digital print and Cad Cam design.
I set up a half drop repeat, printed it on the Pro printer, and I heat pressed it on fabric, two different sort of fabric, but the fabric has to be synthetic. So this one's the satin one, and both of them have to be synthetic fabrics for the paint to transfer on the fabric. So once it's transferred, it's it's thermosetting, so it won't come off if you wash it or whatever. And now I'm going to decide which print looks better on which fabric. So.
I would encourage any teacher that that's looking at the programme today thinking they can't possibly achieve anything like this. This has been a development over 6 years, and we all start out small. So it has to be a gradual, staged improvement from small beginnings.
It's estimated that an outlay of around £1,500 is enough to get started on computer-aided manufacture. And Anne Crawshaw has written a short guide on how to access funding for Cad Cam hardware and software, which can be found along with her lesson plans on the Teachers TV website.
Maria, I've got it now.
You can't move.